Hey, I just want to invite everybody down to Scouts on Friday morning at 8 o'clock to fellowship with guys, to enjoy some donuts and a fun time, but also to get to know the Lord and to know that He loves you and wants to have a relationship with you. So invite friends and come on down. Thanks.
All right, fellas, here we go. I'm going to do a little bit different today. I don't know, God just kind of put this on my heart, and as I look at you guys, and you guys know how it is, because you guys sometimes call me or text me, Wednesday or Thursday, and what are you going to say? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just trying to sort out my life and stay married for another week, like most of you cats in here, right? Are you kidding me, man? And the kid calls you from, Tacoma and tells you crazy news, man. Oh, man. Anyways, I wanted to start with the Bible verse, all right? So usually I punch it in the middle of it, but Psalm 19:14 kind of hit me this week. And you guys know sometimes I work out of the hotel, the Hilton or the Hyatt, whatever they call it. I was just reading this verse, not because I'm overly religious, because I'm not. I've been to church 4 times the last 4 years, all right? It says, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. And I was thinking about, not that I'm saying anything, but the meditation of our heart be acceptable to God. And I just wanted to pound that a little bit today, and it kind of leads into the message, what I'm going to talk about. I got 3 stories today. David asked for a basketball story, so I'm going to punch that in there. But I want to, hopefully it's the Bible that saves. So it's that Bible verse, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. And he's talking, this is, in Psalm, this is David talking to God. I want to know what I meditate on is pleasing to the Lord. Right? And that's always hard, before the Lord, it's you meditate on the heart, it's always about you or chasing some chick or, or into pleasure, whatever it is. But now that some of you guys here know the Lord, your meditation on your heart is always going to be God-pleasing. God-pleasing. Ties into the story today, and this is going to be a while for some of you cats. Have you guys ever heard of it? Raise your hand if you've heard of Eric Weiss before. Eric Weiss. I never heard the guy named Eric Weiss. Anybody heard of this cat? Anyways, actually that was Harry Houdini's name before he was Harry Houdini. I was kind of a big Houdini fan. You guys know the escape artist back in the day, late 1800s. I mean, it's pretty cool because you can see some of his old footage in 1900. Man, this cat was unbelievable. I'm going to give you the breakdown of this story, and I'm going to tie it into Nicodemus at the end. And hopefully it rolls pretty well. And I always say, you Sunday schools and the pastors in the group, don't send me no nasty text, man. Okay, I'm gonna just roll with it. I'll do the best I can. All right, here's to go. Anyways, Houdini, he comes from Hungary. He's a little kid. He's 4 or 5 years old, and dad dies early, and he's trying to make $1 for his family. And ends up at Coney Island, and this is pretty good. I can do magic tricks and card tricks and all that stuff. And I know some of you cats ain't into cards. It's demonic. Yeah, whatever, man. Have another coffee, okay? So I get over yourselves, right? Okay? Oh, I know what that King of Spades means. Whatever. Whatever, man. Anyways, get some counseling. So anyways, Houdini, and now he's getting older, and he's pretty good on stage, and he's doing his little magic tricks from the kid, and they're all, oh, wow, this kid's pretty good, and all that. And, he's a little tiny guy. He's like 5'5", and all that. But he figured out early, if I'm going to go into this, more escape artist kind of thing, I got to get really fit. So he got super fit. You watch his old video, he's a fit little dude, Anyways, a guy sees him on stage, and he goes, hey, this guy's pretty good. And he talks to Harry Houdini. He's making $50 a week at the time. He says, forget all your card tricks and your sleight of hand and everything. That's cute, yeah, whatever, for the circus. But where you can really make some money is escape artist. You're pretty good at it. So he really wanted to master that. They put him in shackles all in his hands and everything. He'd get out of them, it took him a couple hours. So he really learned that craft. Okay. And he was a really good self-promoter and everything, but he didn't want to know how he did it. So anyways, his wife, he gets married, and his brother, he confided in them. They would never tell his secret how he got out of, all these chains and underwater they threw him in, all this stuff. You can watch the video. It's pretty amazing. Became the most popular entertainer, escape artist of all time, they say. Of all time. Wow. But his brother, his wife and brother never told anybody his secrets, right? And a lot of people don't know this, but Houdini, he studied his craft so much of how to be an escape artist. I mean, he studied and studied and studied. You know, they lock him in thing. He would study the box and the straight jackets because he all figured it out before he had to do it. Of course, he'd be dead, right? Pretty awesome stuff. So, anyways, but I thought the thing is he only told 2 people his entire secret of how to escape death. Right? Because at the end, that's what he was escaping death. People would pay so much money to watch this guy escape death. Not a big deal, escape handcuffs, but how to escape death. You know, they throw him in the water, in the Hudson River, all tied up in a box, and he would get out, but he would just wait underwater for minutes and minutes, keep the crowd, suspended, and he'd pop up. They go, yeah. How does it get into Nicodemus? I don't know yet. Help me out on this one, right? All right, ties him. So we're talking about, okay, then there's a guy in Fresno, I find out, he was talking it up. I'm a great escape. I'm way better than Houdini and all this stuff. You guys might have seen this about 10, 20 years ago. They did a video on him. I'm better. I'm doing the same trick. Houdini couldn't do this. I'm going to do it. Although Houdini did it, but I'm better. And he goes to Fresno and they bury him alive and all that. He's going to escape and get out. Sure enough, the guy didn't get out, right? They go digging him up. And the guy's saying, oh, man, this isn't good. The guy's dead as a doorknob down there, And the guy, he didn't understand the weight. Because, Houdini really studied his craft about the weight of the sand on him and all that stuff. He knew how to get out. He was like a scientific genius. And the guy said, well, this guy that died, it was this problem. The weight was this problem. He was buried too deep. And the guy says, no, man. No. The guy was in self-denial. What was the problem? He's not Houdini. That's the problem. It wasn't about anything else, but he's not Houdini. Got in my little basketball story because David wants a basketball story today. Now, you guys know where Coach Tarkanian is. I might have said this. You guys know Gary. Okay. The guy's a famous coach. He's passed since, but back in the late 70s and 80s and 90s, the guy, unbelievable. I mean, he was rolling it up in college basketball, big time, coaching at Vegas at the time, #1 team in the country, and they're loaded with dudes, and this guy's getting it done. He's going 30-1 on the best. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, he's rocking and rolling. They got Larry Johnson and all kinds of cat. Unbelievable program. Unbelievable. I'm coaching high school in JUCO at the time. He called me one time, acted like he knew me. I was just panicking on the phone, just hearing his voice. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy was unbelievable. So anyways, my buddy, he's friends with another coach in the conference, same conference as Tark. And so I asked him, what are you guys talking about? You're going up to LA. He goes, he's talking about Jerry Tarkanian and why he gets beat by 40 against Tark all the time. So my friend's talking to this coach, who's getting hammered by UNLV and Tarkanian. And these guys are sitting talking to a friend of his, and the guy, coach finally says, Tark wins because he cheats. He's a cheater. That's why he beats me by 40. My friend says, stop the car. They're on Highway 101. All right, you guys know where that is. They're on Highway 101 going to LA in the middle of nowhere. Get out. He says, stop the car. I'm getting out. Stop the car. I can't take it anymore. My friend gets out of the car, and the coach said, get in the car. He goes, no, I can't get in the car with you. I can't get in the car. As soon as you brought up Jerry Tarkanian, he beating you by 40 because he's cheating, I couldn't take it anymore. So I'm talking to my friend. He goes, I didn't get back in the car. I took a Greyhound bus all the way back to the Bay Area. I go, have you talked to Coach? That he's telling you, he goes, no, I won't talk to him. The guy was in total self-denial. He just couldn't admit Coach Tarkanian is better than me. He works harder, better recruiter. He's getting players. I'm over there speaking to the Rotary Club, and this guy's coaching basketball. My friend, this guy's in self-denial. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. The guy that died of Houdini and then this coach thing. Got us into Nicodemus. Nicodemus in the Bible. This will be my last little lead in here. They don't talk about Nicodemus very much. That's just John 3 in the Bible. Just a real short little time there. And Nicodemus, and you Jewish cats, you should know Nicodemus. He was the head of the Jews group or something like that. Yeah. All right. So a lot of you guys with the Jewish background here, you should know Nicodemus. Pretty cool guy, it sounds like. So he goes to Jesus at night. The story goes like this. And he's asking him questions, and it seems like reading the short thing, and he had some unrest, And it sounded like Nicodemus was not in self-denial. He's kind of worked it out. Jesus has some answers that I need to know. Or maybe I need to know, because I'm responsible to a lot of my community, but I'm more worried about me, Nicodemus. Sound like a pretty wise dude. And Jesus tells him what he must do to be saved. You think Houdini wouldn't tell anyone. He told two people what it is to be an escape artist, what the secret of salvation to save his life was. And Christ tells him, you must be born again. And he says, even that, what about being an older dude like Nicodemus was? And you look at you cats in the room today. I think age is unbelievable. Look at your gray hair and everything like that. God, in his great kindness and his love and his mercy, he reminds us when we look in the mirror, we ain't going to live very long. This whole life here is a mug's game. It's all vanity. It ain't even real half the time, most of the time. God, in his great kindness and love, we get a little gray, we lose some hair, we become grandparents, we got a backache, we're getting older, and Nicodemus says, what? Born again? How does that even work? I must be born again? Interesting. Ties into the end of this story here today for you guys in here in the room. Okay. You know, I talked about this at the beginning of the month, about February 1st, which is this week, 2023 at 3 o'clock, and how does it work with being born again? Well, you know, that's kind of an interesting, I'm going to tie it all together here, where I look around the group here, and I know many of you, God in his great kindness and mercy has stirred your conscience, and you are at great unrest with your life. Praise the Lord. That is the first sign where God is activating you, where you start to look at your life in the mirror, get a little older, and you realize, man, I ain't on the planet, man. I'm not on the planet. And sin in your own life, not in everybody else's life. That's a virtue signal. When you run around and talk about everybody else's sin, that makes you feel good. Right? It's a distraction. That's all it is. I always tell guys that to do podcasts in the room, and guys that want to talk to me about everybody else's problems. Oh, man. Go get saved, I tell them. Go get saved. But they want to tell me all this stuff going on in their life, or everybody else's issues. Thinking, well, maybe the Lord in his great kindness has activated them. Okay. The first thing is, you know, you guys hear that God is starting to stir your conscience. You look at your life, or you look at your past life, and you think, ha, what a bunch of dog shit this was. I laid a turd. I was chasing me. I was thinking about me. I'm still looking at me. I think I'm a pretty good guy. Guy was telling me that in the back last week, because by world standards, I'm pretty righteous, or I'm pretty Christian. I run the home group, man. I'm good. No. Our conscience gets stirred more and more, and we realize in this group, particularly with this cats in here, we are lost as hell, and I'm lost as hell, and I'm not in line with the Lord like I should be, and I know it, and because of his great love, his great kindness, and his great mercy, he's stirring my conscience, and all I'm thinking about is the Lord and my loved ones, and now I need to go get myself saved. But there comes the problem. You cannot save yourself. That's the problem. Christ says, you must be born again, i.e., in Christian words, go get saved. You must get saved. Okay, here's the great encouragement today for you cats that have been activated, or God's starting to stir you early in activation, or some of you guys here that you know you've had false conversions. And you'll know that because if you check yourself in the Bible, if you're still thinking about yourself and talking about yourself all the time, you need to get your ass saved. Period. You come talk to me, and I'm sitting there talking to you and listening for an hour and a half about how great you are. You need to get saved. There's only one way you can get saved. God has to save you. He must save you. So here's it is. February 1st, 3 p.m. If you haven't been saved yet, go ask to know Him alone in your room. But drop all your anger. Forgive everyone. Honor your wife in all things before you go see Him. He's right there, and He will save you. But He'll do it in His time frame. Well, it won't be February 1st. But that February 1st is a good target date. And some of you cats have already done that. You don't have to wait till February 1st. But that's my call in this group. February 1st, 2023, 3 o'clock, I'll be in my bedroom alone. Not to virtue signal what a great guy is, because I got my own problems. You guys that know me know I got more problems than most. But my responsibility in this group is two things. To remind you guys, particularly if you're new or watching this the first time, how much the Lord loves you. He loves you so much. When you go see Him, He's right there. But He tells you, you want me to forgive you? You must go forgive. You want to be heard by me? You want to be heard? And you want me to hear your prayer on Wednesday, February 1st? He says, you want me to hear you, God says? You must forgive everybody, and you must honor your wife in all things, regardless of how she treats you. Regardless. Okay. So here's my great encouragement moment today. How do we go to Houdini? Coach Darganian. Little Bible verse there is that I encourage you guys today, a little different message, that really take it serious. I hope God stirs your conscience. It's His great love, His great kindness, and His great mercy that you can go to Him, and He promises you He's right there. And He promises us in His Word, when one comes to Him and asks to know Him and repents and confesses and lays it down. We don't come to God saying, hey, I'm a good dude. I'm righteous. I was 20 and 2 last year. My wife thinks I'm cool. Guys in the grown-up group, they think I'm a good guy. We got to go to the Lord straight up. I'm lost as hell. I need you to save me. Please. That's a dude who's not in self-denial. Now, I can't save you. I can't bring you back to the Lord. Your minister can't do it. He's trying. He's trying to help you know where to go, or your rabbi, or your bishop, or your priest. They're telling you where to go. And you have to go direct to the Lord. That's where you need to go. And you go because He loves you. He loves you so much. Why He's stirring your conscience. It's not Steve-O. And He's right there. And He will forgive you. And you will be born again. You will be born again. Through God's love. In His timing. Hope you guys have a great morning. And I tell you the truth because I love all of you so much. And He loves you so much. And He loves men. And this ain't the Steve Doan show. It ain't trying to be a promotional thing. It's just what it is. I want to give it to you real. When you leave here, you know the answer. I must get saved. And God can save me. And He will save me because He loves me. You guys have a great weekend. And enjoy your donuts. And see you next week, fellas. God bless.